Right, we do like getting presents here and parcels. This is for the Reliant Regal van, my Trotter van. Just open it up here. Thought I'd do this little unboxing video for you. Very hard, as you know, to source brand new parts for a car as old as this, about 50 years old. But there are resources out there, and I'm lucky enough to have found one. And that is a brand new tube for the fuel tank cap to the new fuel tank. We've got a couple of, again, I think these are new old stock badges. Yes, look at that, look. Which is the very rare Supervan 2 badges. As you can see there, mine is being a Supervan 2 as opposed to the Supervan 3. So again, very rare. And as I say, I've got 2 of them. And just to show you their new old stock, there's the old original receipt there, look, for all the parts thing that come from the Reliant factory all them years ago, look. So well chuffed with them, very, very hard to get hold of. And the pierce the resistance, or resistance if you want to say, is this little beauty here. This is a brand new old stock fuel tank for the Reliant Regal Trotter van. Let's just try and get it out for you. Look at that. Let's get this box out of the way. As rare as rocking horse poo-poo. And let's show you it a bit nearer. This is a holder, I would imagine, for the, look at the old original tape on it, look. There we go. And inside, you can't see it, but it's absolutely spotless inside there, and it's the I can feel inside there's like a thin covering of oil inside, and there we go, absolutely brand new, look, not a bit of rust on it at all. And I will paint this, as I say, I will give this a coat of paint as an extra protection. This looks like just some sort of undercoat, I would imagine. But yeah, there you go, these things are still out there if you know where to look, and I'm lucky enough to be able to get a brand new one. Well, as I said to you, knowing where to buy this sort of stuff is sort of paramount when you're building something like an old Reliant Regal or van or whatever. And there's a chap on the internet called Neil Huckle, and this is where I've got these parts from. He's going to be sourcing some more parts. Many difficult, hard to find parts he's got as well. And I'll leave a link in the description to his Facebook page where you can actually message him direct if you need anything. So if you're in the Reliant world and you need spares of any sort, do check him out. As I say, he does very reasonable price as well, and he's got them hard to find parts, and believe me, they are hard to find. You just cannot find these tanks, for example, and he had a batch of them as well. He's got things from engines right down, as I said to you, to the smallest trim like that, and these are gold dust. So I'm very happy with what I've got there, and he threw this in as well, so I'm so happy with that. That goes on the end of the fuel tank now. So anyway, that's that. So I'll leave the link in the description to Neil where you can contact him direct, and let's go and do a bit more body work on the Reliant Regal. See you in a minute. Right, well, I'm going to start filling the front of this now with the Isopon P40 filler. It's a fiberglass resin. You can go on time lapse. Let's get this done. See you in a minute. Right, okay then, I've applied as much of the fiberglass as I'm probably going to do. It's had 2 coats, you've probably seen that on time lapse. And I'll just show you a close up just to where we are. And I will finish this off now with a normal car body filler after it's been sanded down, just to fill in the little indentations. But let's show you what we've done so far. Right, well as you can see, this was all hollow there, as you know, originally. It shouldn't have been there. There wasn't an original grille there, someone cut extra slots in it. So we've now fixed that up now. And that bit, as I tried to mention to you before, which had that little nip out, I just packed that with some fiberglass, let it go off, and then that gave a good backing. So, and as you can see there, we've got a nice curve there anyway from that corner bit there. So all the way along, that just needs preparing. And coming round to our corner joint there, as you probably know, this now is, it's just touch dry at the moment. But as you can see, if I can just show you around that side, we've virtually got the profile there, as you can see. And that is all nice and solid, or it will be. It's got the fiberglass batting on the back as well, don't forget. So as you can see, that's just a matter of contour shaping, all that, and exactly the same with the corner edge there. What you probably didn't see, which is what I've done down there, I had a couple of nips out down there as well, and also a big crack down there as well, which is by fiberglass at the back, and also gone over with the resin because I cut a big V out of there. So that's now okay. So basically, once this goes off hard, I can then start my proper bodywork, which will mean rubbing this down, contour shaping it, and then I'll finish off with a little bit of polyester filler just to take out any pinholes or unevenness or whatever. So, and that will be basically it. The front will be ready for painting. Coming round to the side of the van, there's a little bit down this side of the van which needs a little bit of work there. I may sort of feather this in. This, you can't feel this, but I'm going to feather this in anyway. This has been like this from factory, as I told you before, but I will just cover that up with a layer of filler or fiberglass or whatever. I'm not too sure what I'm going to use yet, and yeah, that will be fine. Right, and coming around the back here, you know, we're going to put a strengthening panel inside the back here as well, so that's going to be when it's upside down. Coming over to this side, we've got some work to do on just filling that hole in. Someone had an aerial point put on there, and the lower skirt is a bit flappy at the bottom there. And as you know, we've got this big sort of tear on the fiberglass on the side there, and that's basically it. So as you probably know, I've not had much chance to get down here and do some work on this. I've got a spare couple of hours today, so I've actually come down and started doing this. And this needs to be done before, as I say, we can turn the van over, because I've still got to take the door hinges out as well. And to do that, to get better access, I'm going to just turn it on its side, or turn it right away over anyway. Oh, right, okay. Right, so it's probably been about 30 minutes since the filler went off, and as you saw on the time lapse there, I'll just give it a bit of a first cut over with some 80 grit just to get the shape with the orbital sander. And as you can see, solid as a rock. Now let's show you a bit closer. Right, well, as you can see there, although it's still got some dips in it, that's not a problem, but I don't know if you can see the edges there on how it blends together. When you're using a like-for-like material, let's say fiberglass and fiberglass, you've actually just basically replaced the strength that was gone there. Where it's wrong is where people have this sort of a, let's say a gap like that for example, and they just whack loads and loads of body filler in. Body filler is a different material than the main frame of the vehicle, and that's always going to produce at the seam a sort of a joint weak spot, so to speak. We're using like-for-like materials here. Fiberglass was cut out, we've replaced it with fiberglass and resin, and as you can see, it's absolutely solid there, down to the extent where this was that little bit in the middle that was all sort of flappy, part of the original bit, because I'd actually cut away underneath there. And as you can see, that's all moulded back in now, and all I've got to do now is, now that we've got the strength back in and the integrity, and I've flattened it off, we can see our low spots, just go back in there with some sort of car body polyester filler and just fill in all the sort of little holes and little dips and stuff like that. Exactly the same with this. This is now gone off, and I can do exactly the same with this. We'll shape this with 80 grit paper first of all, and we'll end up with the same result as this, and fill in again with the filler. Now you might say, well, I haven't got a DA, I haven't got an orbital sander or any air tools. Well, you can do it all as long as you've got a flat block or some sort of flat surface to lay your sandpaper on. The thing to avoid is to try and shape something like this with your hand, because you're never going to find that straight line. That's why if you wrap the sandpaper around a little block of wood, for example, and then just go in the same sort of orientation, you'll find sanding will become a lot more precise, and you'll be able to identify high spots and low spots by where the solid straight edge is on fiberglass. So, you know, it is a technique, it is something you've got to learn, but to try and do what I've achieved here with this flat surface there, as you can probably see, it's lovely and flat, because I was looking down the top of it while I was sanding, and I was ensuring that I was at the right angle for one, because as you know, we've got an angle here to adhere to. So the sander's got to be held at the right angle and going along in that sort of movement. And you can't just use your fingers to sort of try and create this sort of straight edge like that. You've got to have a straight edge. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right, okay then, so I'm going to leave it here for now. We've got lots more to do. I haven't got much more time today which I can spend on this now. I've got other things to do. I've got a couple of lawnmower videos to do, so do check out them as well if you're interested in them, the lawnmower repair videos. And also, I'm just doing a lawnmower at the moment where I'm showing you how you can spend £10 here in the UK, probably about 12 or 13, $14 I suppose in the US. I've picked up a lawnmower, and it's how we can turn that into a lot more money. That's in a different video. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again in the next video. And until then, bye for now.